Future Jam.
Welcome to the Future Jam, a tech news podcast for enthusiasts and casual listeners alike. I'm Mike, and once again, I'm here with Alex. What's up, buddy?
Hi, Mikey. How's it going?
I'm trying to get amped because I'm kind of sleepy.
Hey, sleepy, but you're in like a new location, sort of, kind of. Not really, but it's different.
Not in a new location, just the basement's kind of in a disheveled state because I had a slight flood.
A slight flood. They had to tear up all your carpet, and
Yeah, so that's why it might sound a little bit more echoey down here because there's no carpet. But besides that, I didn't want to draw attention too much to the aspect of the recording. But
people want to know the details, Mike. They want to know. When I get complaints about the podcast, they're like, we don't know enough about your guys' basements if something big happens to them, and you don't talk about animals enough, so.
We don't talk about animals enough, but I'm not going to start now. I'll say that much. I do have big news. We've hit 20,000 downloads over the course of the podcast, so I think that's awesome news. Quite the milestone.
Yeah, it's exciting. It was mostly you. I think I've been on for probably 50 of those downloads. But
no, you've been on the show like a lot longer than you expect. I think we're close to 20 episodes now, I feel like.
Probably. I think when did I come on? In November did we start?
Yeah, I believe
like October.
So. Like October, November, yeah.
Yeah, so probably, it's been like a half a year.
Yeah, so I think we're probably a third to a half of our episodes now are Alex-centric.
That's exciting.
Yeah, so I guess that's another milestone. You haven't been with us a year, though, so once we get to that yearly review, it's not going to look too hot. But
I demand my yearly review of the podcast be renamed to The Future Jam featuring Alex.
No, I'm not going to allow that, so sorry, buddy. Also, one other big thing is we got featured on a local NPR podcast. So I wanted to give a shout out to WVXU and their Here Now podcast. So thanks for featuring us on this week's show.
Yeah, thank you. It's exciting.
Yeah.
Get recognized by somebody besides our parents.
Yeah, it's exciting, and I'm glad I had that Google alert set up. So if anybody at home doesn't know this, you can actually go into your Google settings and set up Google alerts. So anytime a phrase or something gets mentioned on the internet, it'll email you. And that's what happened.
Sorry, my mind went to an odd place. So, yeah, let's move on.
I thought you were just laughing at me because that was like the nerdiest thing ever.
Nah, that's cool. Like, if you have something like you're really interested in, like the Future Jam, you can set that up. But, like, I can see, like, your friend leaves their phone out, you can try to go in and set it up so, like, anytime somebody's talking about something weird.
That's actually a fantastic idea. I'm going to set you up with anytime people are talking about, I don't know. It's
hardcore nudity. Yeah.
Yeah. You get the gist. Let's just jump right into the dumb tech of the week. We actually have a dumb tech of the week from myself and a creepy tech of the week from Alex. So, dumb tech of the week, I'd say slightly dumb, but Microsoft has turns its Surface Duo phone into a gamepad for its Xbox Cloud gaming. They have a phone that has two screens. I think 12 people in America have this phone. Exactly.
I didn't know it existed.
Yeah, a lot of people do not. But it's a phone that folds out and has two screens, and it runs Google's operating system, Android, which is kind of weird. Microsoft selling a device that runs Android. But everybody's seen the Nintendo DS. You know what the Nintendo DS is, right, Alex?
Yeah, I know what the DS is.
It's like a handheld console where it has two screens.
Yeah.
One's for like input of... What would you say? It came with a stylus, and you can input different commands on the bottom screen, and then the top screen was more of your gameplay?
Yeah, it just depends on the game, like what different features it had. Because, the top screen would actually be like the game, and the bottom screen, like you can add stuff to it and all. And depending on the game, it depends how interactive it was with it.
Yeah. So Microsoft has its cloud gaming platform where you could stream basically Xbox games to your phone. And most people would probably use a Bluetooth controller because Xbox games seem to be pretty complicated to use touchscreen controls, right?
Yeah, so you're not playing like your basic like Mario, like two button, like original Mario's where your A and B button or something like that.
No, you're playing Halo. You're playing games like Halo on a touchscreen. How stupid is that? That's like, why would you want to play a game like Halo on a touchscreen phone? Like, I'm trying to remember all the buttons, but there's at least 8 different buttons you have to press.
I think it's more to the fact that they can do this than that people would actually use. Like, it's a cool thing to show somebody if you had it. Like, hey, look at this, because, the phone flips up. So, like, you have your screen, kind of like you're looking at, like you said, the DS, or if you can't picture that, like a laptop where you have, like, your keyboard at the bottom and the screen up. And, like, that screen would just kind of play the game, and the touch screen at the bottom was what you would use. So, it's cool to look at, but I don't see it, like, really being, like, a fun experience to play.
No, because if you already have this phone, you're probably pretty nerdy as is. So you probably have a portable controller you could bring around with you, honestly. So, yeah, I think this, like you said, more gimmicky than anything else. But yeah, that's all I have to say on the matter. It's just a dumb waste of time for the programmers. And there's, like, the user base for this phone is so small as well. Like, 6 out of the 12 people might be using this feature, if that. So, yeah, waste of time, waste of space. Let's jump into your creepy tech of the week. What do you got? What do you got for us, Alex?
So I didn't know this was a thing, but everybody, I feel like since like the 80s had like that toy robot, like
everybody's had this. I've never had a toy robot, Alex.
Where you can put like a card in and you hit the button and it's like,
oh, you're talking about the Teddy Ruxpin, maybe?
No, like something like that. But this was, like a robot that you can kind of interact with and play games with. But
Furby?
No, not a Furby. I'm trying to think of like the name of it. I have one in the basement somewhere, but like.
Well,
like,
anyways, let's get on to the next part.
Like learning games and stuff like that. So Embodied is a company, and they made this robot Moxie. I don't know. Did you actually watch the videos of this at work?
Well, that's one of the reasons why I feel like I had to cut a couple stories in this episode, because I got enamored with watching like YouTube videos of like people using this, and it's kind of interesting and cute.
It's not. I don't know if it's cute. I think it's the face of the robot. So what it is like a kid's toy. Costs $1,500, and it's a kid toys that can move around. It's on a base, but it can move its arms. And it interacts with your kid, so like.
And the face is a whole video screen.
Yeah, it's like it's like a projection screen. So it has like eyes that can move and all, and it talks to you. It kind of reminds me of the faces of. Have you seen Soul yet?
No. Yeah, I've seen Soul. It reminds me. The robot looks just like the girl robot in WALL-E.
Yeah, but with the face of the little blue ones in Soul. So like it has like a lot more of expression of a face, and it like you're supposed to be with your kid like so they can have somebody like to talk to and they can learn and play games.
This all sounds awesome. You haven't really shown the creepiness of this yet, buddy.
I think it's just the face that looks creepy to me. Like it's like, but like and like it learns like your kid's patterns, so it can have like conversations with them. I don't know. It seems like it's for like kids that. Like, if you're worried your kid doesn't know how to talk to people. But, like, it says, like, good morning, and do you want to play a game, or how was your day? And, like, you just have a full-blown conversation with, like, this robot, and it learns, and... Like,
yeah, I mean, I think it's used for teaching. Also, like, if your kid doesn't have a lot of friends, it might be useful in that aspect. Also, like, a lot of kids have social anxiety, so it might kind of help them, like, interact, like, learn how to interact. It's kind of iffy as far as how good it is, but I think they are building onto it and making it better. They said the guy who demoed it said it changes like almost every day. Like it is almost a different experience as he used it.
Yeah, and like sometimes they'll just explain to you like how circuits work, because I said I had an issue with a circuit and explains to that. And it's just, I can see it getting creepy. Like, I can see people being attached to this, because we already seen people get attached to robots that don't really do anything to you, but this is a robot that is going to interact with you and,
Yeah.
Talk to you, and, like, it's...
Depends on how much control they have of, like, what it does. Like, if it's self-learning, then it could become creepy fast, but if they actually have some, like, brains behind it, like, trying to steer it in different directions, I could see it being all right. It's $60 a month as well. Like, the subscription cost is $60, or you get paid up front and it's $40. But it's pretty pricey.
Yeah, it's not cheap, but like if it's like constantly learning and like being updated, I've seen enough movies where robots eventually learn that the only way to protect mankind is to kill mankind.
Well, they particularly designed this to not have legs, so it wouldn't have a situation like this. You could just push it off the table.
Yeah, but what's the next generation? Like, if this gets really well, and then people are like, well, I want my kid to be able to go walk with it and play with it outside.
Yeah, the next generation has, like, sexy long legs. That's the design they're going to have. It's going to have the legs from the Christmas Story attached to it.
And robots keep getting sexier and sexier. But that's like, watch the videos. I think if it had more of, like, a robot face, I wouldn't mind it. It's the face that really throws me. I don't like it. And it says, like, two expression, and I just don't like... I don't trust robots. We know this about me. Do clowns
also creep you out, Alex?
I'm fine with clowns.
Okay. All right, just testing the litmus test.
Like, if the robot had a big red nose on front of it, I would be fine. This is...
a big red button nose. If it was Ronald McDonald robot, you would be fine.
I just don't see this push into getting more and more robots when we all know that eventually that's going to take over. And how do we stop them, Mike?
That's how do we stop them? They're taking the roles of the parents now. Crazy. They're taking over what you would do. I think you're just jealous, honestly.
Well, I wish I had one of these for my kids so he can leave me alone. They say like the sessions last like 20 to 40 minutes. The average time is like 27 minutes that people on this like using the robot a day.
They specifically designed it so the parents have alone time per day.
But it is really interesting. We always say, like, check out the show notes, but really do look up this product because it came out 2 months ago and I didn't hear anything about it. Usually this would be like something like everybody's talking about. I think especially if it came out around Christmas, it would have been. But yeah, it's Moxie by Embodied.
Well, it's also like a kind of a smaller company and a pretty expensive price. But I think if it catches on YouTube, like people start sharing a lot about it on YouTube, then I could see it like kind of picking up steam a little bit.
Yeah, I could see people really liking this if it does help people that have like social skills or things like that, have trouble talking to somebody, and like this can help them learn to interact with people. But I can just see people getting too attached to these really quick.
Yeah, that part could be bad, like attachment disorder. And that type of thing. All right, well, let's jump right into our Tech News Bytes of this week. I think we've had enough creepy things today, which I'm not actually creeped out about at all.
Hey, when I sent it to you, I said dumb/weird. You're the one that added creepy.
Well, it's not weird.
I think it's weird.
You said in your text message, this is creepy.
I did say it was creepy. Yeah, but when I put in the notes, I said dumb or weird, and then you changed it.
It's not creepy. Dumb, and it's.
I think it's weird.
Not really weird.
I think it mostly falls on the weird. Let's look at it with the eyes and the expressions. I think it's weird. They're trying to make the face too.
I think it's just weird because it's not normalized yet. It's not a normal thing to have in your house. It's not normalized. If Nintendo made this, people would be freaking out about it, or if it's Apple product, people would like, oh, how could I need one in every single room of my house. I need one in my bathroom, one in my kitchen, one on the deck.
It will be something like, I can't live without this.
Yeah, so it just depends on who makes this product. That's how popular it's going to be. And unfortunately, it doesn't have an Apple logo on it or a Nintendo logo. So,
and I think it's weird. And I can see a lot of people like, oh, my kid's best friend is this robot we bought him.
Better than an imaginary best friend.
Yeah, but didn't we learn anything from the movie AI?
No, I haven't watched it, or I watched it a long time ago. All right, you got that timer set already? It's taking me a while to get that 2-minute timer set for the Tech News Bytes.
Okay, let's go.
Tech News Bytes.
The first Tech News Byte of the week is a very serious product and, not at all funny. And it's the Pope-mobile is getting an all-electric version thanks to Fisker. Alex, you're a big Catholic man, or
I am big pro-Catholic, so
yes. Thank you.
I'm a fan of the Pope. He waves to people. A big fan of the Pope-mobile.
Explain to the people then what the Pope-mobile is, because a lot of people might not know what a Pope-mobile is.
When the Pope travels around the different parts of the world, he's a very popular figure. Or not, I don't know if popular, but people come to see him. And I feel like one of the popes got shot. Was that John Paul II? And then he visited the guy in prison and, forgive them.
And that's why they added armored plating to the Pope-mobile and a dome that's bulletproof.
So they can wave in peace.
So the Pope can wave outside of the dome as it drives through the city. But I guess the Pope is really wanting to go green as of late, and Fisker is. I guess this guy left. He designed the Model S for Tesla, I believe, and then he decided to start his own company, and it's not gone well. But then he pitched this to the Pope, and I guess the Pope gave him 2 thumbs up, because I think the Pope likes to do the thumbs up gesture.
They do. There's a big Catholic symbol in the church. Give the thumbs up.
The thumbs up. So it's going to be based on the Ocean SUV. Still hasn't reached the market yet. And it's going to have a big square box that's glass out the top of it, so the Pope can stand up and wave in his all-electric vehicle.
Yeah, this guy seems like a crazy guy who's trying to get in the electric car market, but has not had success. He keeps saying, "Oh, our cars are going to be able to do this," and it can't do that. Our cars are going to be able to do this, and it can't do that. So I'll be really surprised if this car actually comes to market.
So do you think they'll ever make an electric Pope-mobile from this company?
Maybe. I can see this company making it and then going under within a year. But it's free advertisement for the company, so.
That's true. I think that's probably why he did it. Free advertisement. And maybe he's like, Catholics will buy this vehicle. This is going to be the official Catholic electric vehicle company.
That's true. I bought my Nissan because the Pope blessed Nissan.
So speaking of electric vehicles, our next story is... we've been teasing this for a couple weeks now. The Ford F-150 Lightning just got announced late last week. We didn't get the full announcement in, but it's going to be under $40,000, which I think is a huge bomb drop.
Yeah, no one saw this coming. Everybody thought it was going to be around at least 60.
Yeah, so I think that's a huge win for Ford. And I'm gonna read a couple of the quick stats real quick, but it'll have a 230-mile range standard and a 300-mile range extended, and it's going to have all-wheel drive as standard, so that's pretty awesome. A standard all around to all of their vehicles. It's going to have 563 horsepower, which I guess is the most powerful Ford F-150 ever built, and you can charge it to 80% in 41 minutes at a fast charger. So it's got some pretty awesome stats right off the bat.
You didn't say the best one, Mike. That in an emergency, the car can power your house. Power your house, Mike.
I was going to mention that. It's amazing as far as that goes. It's like a backup battery built into a vehicle for your house.
Yeah, so you can just plug it in and it can power if your power goes out, it can power your lights, security cam, some appliances, up to 9.6 kilowatts, which is crazy. Ford has 2 big cars, the Mustang and the F-150, and they were not messing around putting out a crappy Mustang. Everybody says the Mach-E is really good, and the F-150 Lightning. They had to go all out. And like I know people love Tesla, but this is blowing the Cybertruck out of the water. Everything they
Yeah, I
announced
heard a
for
lot
this.
of people like canceling their Cybertruck orders just because this is just so much better on paper. And also on top of this, I think a lot of like actual like workforce people are going to be buying this, because think about this: you could drive this to your job site and power all your equipment off your truck, because your truck is basically a gigantic battery.
Yeah, it's just wild. Like it's no, I don't think anybody saw it coming. Like all the stuff it could do.
No, I think this Ford actually made a good like case for electric vehicles with this presentation, and I can't wait. Wouldn't they say it's coming 2022?
I think so. You can pre-order it with a deposit of $100.
So yeah, I can't wait to see these on the road. I think it's going to be very popular. It's going to be a very popular thing. So let's
Next
jump
topic.
into our next story. This is again in the same electric category. We've been kind of talking about ways to store energy, like from solar panels or wind farms when you can't use all the energy. And scientists in Sweden have come up with a novel approach to it, I feel like.
Yeah, the novel concrete battery. So Chalmers University of Technology in Sweden figured out a way, like most buildings around the world are made out of concrete. But the concrete's not a good conductor. But by adding small amounts of carbon fiber to the concrete can add conductivity and flexible structure. And they pair that with a fiber mesh of one coat of iron and one coat of nickel to make it doesn't hold a good charge. It's not really a good battery at all, but it holds a little bit. And if the amount of concrete that you're building it can scale up.
Yeah.
But so it's in the early phases, but if you can have a building store electricity, it'd be huge.
Yeah, it's like only 7 watts per square meter, so it's not, like you said, it's not a lot of power at all. But like a foundation of a big, gigantic structure is lots and lots of cement. So once you add all that cement together, you're gonna actually get up to like being able to hold a decent amount of energy, I feel like. So this is a decent idea.
Yeah, and they're saying if they can add like solar panels to buildings and all, and then they can just store it in the building. It's a nice idea. Like I think you're seeing a lot more companies trying to figure out the next way they can do environmental friendly technology using what we already use, and this would be a big plus.
Because we talked about this a couple weeks ago about building like batteries into the bodies of cars as well. So I mean, this is a popular thing: structure batteries.
Next topic.
Yep, let's jump on to the next one. There's actually a new propulsion system that could enable flying at speeds up to Mach 17. The University of Central Florida researchers have developed like a new technology for this that could possibly get us up to 13,000 miles per hour and travel to from New York City to Los Angeles in under 30 minutes.
Yeah, this would be crazy. I don't imagine the human body can survive going that fast, but it would be
I think you notice like the first initial like boost of energy, but once you're at speed, like you don't know how fast you're traveling. Like you have
That's
no
true.
clue. No, you wouldn't. And this is like very techie. So you can read the whole article. We will do our best to explain how this works, but
yeah. So what it kind of does is it harnesses the power of the detonation into a wave, and inside that and then it moves it to like a reaction chamber, and it kind of instead of it does it kind of going wild like it does kind of now. They were able to like propose something with using that wave, and it's a lot more stable, which is also big. So like with the detonation, it's creating like a shock wave, kind of pushing it forward. The only issue is like it's cool, but right now they can only stabilize it for 3 seconds, so it's very early.
Tomorrow, guys, are gonna board airplane tomorrow and use this. No, but it sounds to me like they're able to focus energy like more direct. If I'm reading this correctly. And I guess that will, have important uses later on for getting us into space, using less rocket fuel, that type of stuff.
Yeah, it uses less fuel because it's harnessing it instead of like just having a ton that kind of goes wild and stabilizing it and using its own force more. So it'll be
I think
big.
it's cool. I just like going fast. Ricky Bobby likes to go in fast as well. But yeah, that's why I put it in there. But yeah, read the article. We'll put it in the show notes as usual. Next one up is China is likely to ban all Bitcoin mining soon. That's kind of like a scary headline. I don't know how accurate it is, but right now they are like making announcements that they're going to ban it possibly, or like they're threatening.
Yeah, the exact quote was from one of the ministers of, like, I think, finance. China will crack down on Bitcoin mining and trading behavior and resultantly prevent the transfer of individual risks to society. So what China's saying, that they're trying to stop this so like people won't like lose a ton of money or like create a risk that will be harmful for China. They're also saying it will they want to cut down on Bitcoin to stop like money laundering, crime activity, drug trafficking, smuggling, and then they also say the environment's part of it too. It's just China wants to control this. We'll talk about this next, but they already have like their own kind of cryptocurrency, but it's just China trying to control it and force Bitcoin out because China kind of owns every company in China.
Yeah, China doesn't like not having control of something, and people can have like more autonomy with Bitcoin, so China doesn't like the individual to have like that much autonomy, and like you said, they want to have control over their population, so they are just doing this to control.
Yeah, and this is part of the reason why I saw Bitcoin fall again. And this is also with the IRS in the U.S. saying that they want reports of any transaction using cyber currency over $10,000, which is also causing it to tumble. With this,
so a whole bunch of stuff added together is causing a lot of issues with Bitcoin.
You're just seeing countries finally stepping in and wanting to get this under control.
And like real quick before we move on, if China does like back out, they do like I'd say a majority of like the Bitcoin mining and processing. So if they backed out, that would hurt their network considerably. So Bitcoin would be like up a river without a paddle. Is that the saying?
Yep.
How the saying goes?
Yeah,
okay,
you got it.
That's pretty good.
Right. Next topic.
Yeah, on to the next one.
More cyber currency.
Woo! Yeah, the U.S. Federal Reserve begins looking into its own digital currency, like 10 years after other countries are looking into it. We're always the last to do stuff like this.
Yeah, I think a lot of people in like positions of power in the U.S. are generally older and don't a lot of times understand technology or understand what this is, and like this isn't gonna catch on, and now they're like, oh, this did catch on, and now we have to do something about it. But the U.S. wants to play a leading role in developing international standards of cyber currency, which is like part of the big issue with cyber currency. It is the Wild West. Like no one really understands what's going to become of it. It's just a lot.
We kind of already have a cyber currency. I think I brought this up before. Like I never see my cash hardly ever. It's always online in the bank, and it's I use a card at the grocery store and at the store, and it's digital. But anyways, go on.
No, I put all my cash on my bed at night and fall asleep on it.
Yeah, you do. Sorry to interrupt. Let's go.
No, but I agree. And like you saw China introduce a digital yen last year to certain people, and I think the U.S. would do something like that. More like this is the digital dollar you have now. I think you can see that. But like these countries just want to kind of control the money. That's all it is.
Yeah, they're trying to get like public feedback as well about this. I don't know why you'd want public feedback, but I think when they say public feedback, they're more talking about businessmen, or business people. Sorry, this is the 21st century after all. But anyways, they're trying to get more input from like bank owners and that sort of thing to kind of see like, hey, is this feasible and what can we do to improve and that sort of thing, and like what are the dangers and issues that they need to resolve to go all digital, I guess.
All right, next topic. At the beginning of the episode, Mike said that we want to talk more animal stories, but Mike was wrong. I put an animal story in here.
Yeah, you did. I almost cut it too.
I thought this was interesting. So, since wolves, the North American wolves, has been reintroduced to a lot of parts of America since they were almost wiped out, and I think until they were put on like the endangered species list in like 73, they've noticed that when wolves were introduced to an area, it causes a cut down of deer collisions with cars by 24%. So wolves are actually doing us a favor. But I guess like the way they hunt and all, they use like a linear like landscapes. So like they use like streams usually, but like travel corridors, roads, and things like that. So deers kind of know that wolves would be by roads and things like that. So they tend not to go by them anymore. And it cuts down on collisions.
Plus it cuts down on overpopulation as well. Like there's way too many deer and like not enough people hunt. Like what are we going to do when people just don't want to hunt anymore? I feel like hunting's not like as popular sport as it once was.
Nah, hunting's still big. I know a lot of people that hunt.
It is, but I don't know to what level,
But also usually like states have like a population that they're allowed to kill off, and they'll bring in professional hunters to kill off deer.
Yeah.
But they also saw this with like cougars when they were reintroduced to like some certain areas, that they cut down collisions with deers by 22%. I just thought it's interesting because you are seeing more of these big prey animals introduced back into the wild. Except in Idaho, they just passed that they can kill off 90% of the wolf population.
Yeah, anytime there's like more diversity in nature, it's better, because these creatures were there before and we killed them off or like pushed them out. So that kind of like introduced
you took out a natural predator. You took out. So the only predator that they have left was us. It's actually really interesting, like the history of like the U.S. like natural parks and like conservation and all. Is like the reason why we have a bigger bear population over like wolves and cougars is that bears were seen cuddly. Like that was like the only reason. Like people didn't mind bears as much because they seem a lot more cuddly than the other animals.
Yeah, they do seem less intimidating. And if I saw a wolf, wolves are very intimidating, and so are cougars and mountain lion. Well, same thing. But anyways.
Okay, our last topic.
Yeah, this one we just added in. It's breaking as of today. But, once you listen to this, it might not be that new information. But Amazon makes a $8.45 billion deal to buy MGM Studios.
Boo. I don't like this at all.
What's funny is I don't think MGM likes this either, because they made Amazon pay 40% more than what any of the other companies were asking for them. So basically Amazon had to pay almost double what they were valued.
Yeah, I think MGM they were looking to be sold, but I don't think they really cared if they were sold or not. And finally, like, Amazon offered them $8.45 billion to buy them out. The biggest property now that MGM has is James Bond. That's probably the biggest property. I would be mad if, since Amazon bought them, that you wouldn't see a James Bond movie in the theaters anymore, because they're straight to streaming.
Well, I think Sony still owns they still put the movies out into theaters. So Sony is the production partner. I think that's what they say, or a distributor. Sony's a distributor. So even though Amazon bought MGM, they would still have to use Sony as their distributor. And I'm not sure what that deal looks like, if it's multiple films or not. But yeah, Sony still would distribute the movie out to different places.
Yeah, the big thing is Amazon's trying to bolster their library. MGM's been around for 100 years, so they have a lot of content, a lot of TV shows. I didn't know Handmaid's Tale is MGM.
Yeah, they don't really, a lot of these companies, they don't really put their names on it, or they use sub-companies. But then again, I think Handmaid's Tale is on Hulu, if I'm mistaken. So they probably have a deal with Hulu still. I doubt we'll see Handmaid's Tale just move right over to Amazon. So that's not how these things work. But basically, Amazon's going to get the money, not MGM now.
Yeah, you'll see like a lot of these shows that they have on other platforms eventually move there.
Yeah, it depends on what their deals look like and that sort of thing. But
Amazon streaming's just not good. Like, just give it up.
it's like one of the worst like interfaces to use.
It's awful.
It's slow. I don't like the search functionality. Yeah, I'm just not a fan of it. And I feel like it's kind of half-assed.
Yeah. It's just like, and then they have a lot like, you'll see something like, well, you have to buy this. Like, after you click on it. And it's just like, it's just frustrating. They should have a free section that's all free. And then if you wanted to buy something, you have to go to like a completely different area.
Yeah, they keep shoving like purchasing things right in your face. Probably because they don't make any money off of the actual streaming platform itself. It's all probably off of rentals and that sort of thing. They probably break even on the streaming because it's just it's included with all your other Prime stuff. So.
Yeah, it's a luxury of Prime. That's literally the only reason why it hasn't gone under yet.
I wonder how many people have, if they've done the numbers, how many Prime users actually use Prime Video. I'd like to know the breakdown of that. But anyways, that's all of our Tech News Bites of the week. And we have... I'm feeling like we're going to do this as a series. I'm not sure if you're okay with this or not, Alex, but I wanted to kind of highlight some things each week about how the pandemic has accelerated technology or made technology better, or, some positives around like what happened during the pandemic, not just like negative things, because we hear negative things all the time. So I thought that would be an interesting thing as a summer series to do. Each week we talk about something positive that happened or something interesting that happened in tech during the pandemic.
Yeah, something that, because a lot of companies and a lot of industries all had to pivot and to survive, and a lot of this is good for consumers, good for companies. So we just kind of want to highlight that over the next couple weeks of the summer. Not next week, though.
What'd you say?
Not next week. That's it.
Next week we will have a. We should have said up top, but next week we'll have like kind of a more fun episode. Not to say these aren't fun, but like more like laid back. We're going to be talking. What was it? Our top five summer sci-fi blockbusters.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's next week, and then we'll get back to our regular news stories. And we might take a couple more breaks during the summer because, there's vacations and that sort of thing. But we'll try to stay on our regular schedule as much as we can. But the first one I wanted to highlight real quick is robot delivery. And that's something we've talked about over like countless episodes is robot deliveries and drone deliveries. And we still don't have them in our area. Like, do you have them in your neck of the woods? I don't have them in Kentucky.
No, we don't have them.
But I guess it's gotten very large on like college campuses.
Makes sense. That makes sense because college campuses are more confined in the most part. Like, so the issue with like robot deliveries in cities or towns and all, it's like you just have a lot of random people. Like, if you make robot deliveries normal on like a college campus, a lot of times like you don't have to go through major roads. Like, it's all just going through campus, and like it's probably easier to program and all.
So I guess there's Starship Technologies has one, and they said that over the pandemic their usage rates went up by like quadruple, which I think is like a crazy increase. And I guess it's due to everybody like ordering food to their house, like takeout, all sorts of stuff like that.
Yeah, people didn't want to go out, and they probably had trouble finding people that want it delivered. And this is the next best thing.
And I feel like a company like this probably would have gone out of business. Like, if you would have asked me last year, like, do you think Starship Technologies and their robot deliveries will continue? I probably would have said no. I probably would have said this will be tested and will fail. But sometimes the pandemic accelerates like adoption of technology, and I think that's one of the things that happened in this instance. And since people are used to doing it now, it's going to become like a common thing.
Yeah, I think you're seeing that. We did the story of Domino's having their robot car deliver pizza and all. I think companies are more willing now to see robots deliver stuff, and I think the biggest thing was like, how do you make robot delivery safe for like people's goods, and like how easy like somebody can get access to it if they order something. I think that was like a big thing, that the technology is finally there with like touchscreens or codes that people can put in to unlock and get what they ordered.
Yeah, and like I said, I've not seen these before, so I'm kind of excited to see like what the rollout plan looks like and how they're going to do it in like suburbs and that sort of thing. I kind of don't think that they're going to be able to do it in suburbs for a while, just because I doubt the range on these things is that great. So I think it's going to be more for like smaller communities and areas.
I think you start seeing it like downtown places, like downtown big cities.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
That might have like a higher density of population.
And what's funny is that over the during COVID, I actually followed this company on TikTok, and they were posting videos of all their delivery like vehicles lined up at the beginning of the day, and they're just going all out in different directions. I guess they had like one central location, and they would all go out to different companies. So maybe they just charge like in a warehouse overnight and then, go out to work.
I can see that, and then they could do maintenance or anything that they need to do on them.
Yeah, I just think the concept is pretty interesting, and that's just one thing I wanted to highlight. It's something small, but we'll have some more little stories here and there as this summer goes on.
Okay.
But let's just skip the follow-up story, because we've talked a lot about Return to Office, unless you had anything about that you wanted to talk about.
Nope.
We're tired of returning the Office. It's just annoying, honestly. You added a RIP Tech this week, and was this a movie that really, or video that really touched your heart, Alex?
As you know, Mike, I am not an internet video guy. I just don't watch internet videos. I don't really care about internet videos. Unless it's something that gets really big and everybody's talking about it, that I would watch it. But it is a sad day. The 2007 classic, Charlie Bit My Finger. Charlie bit me. Is coming off the internet. It was sold as the NFT by the family.
Wait a minute. I thought we weren't going to talk about NFTs ever again on this show.
No,
anyway,
this is
go ahead. I'll let it slide.
The RIP segment for one of the biggest early internet videos. This sold for $716,999.
That's all?
Yeah, I thought it would be more too. I don't know.
So did the actual owner of this video, like the owner of the YouTube account, did they auction this off, or did somebody steal it?
I think the family auctioned it off.
Okay.
So like the family that posted it.
To send their kid to college, because that would basically cover one kid to go to college with today's cost. So.
Yeah, but it's interesting that they're like selling it, and like the person who bought it can choose to take it down if they want or not.
Oh, so they haven't announced whether or not they're going to take it down from YouTube or not?
No, but everybody thinks they are.
I feel like there would be a revolt. Probably not, because so many people have already seen it. But couldn't somebody just re-upload the video to YouTube, or is that would get a copyright strike?
It has to get a copyright strike, right? That would be like the new rules of. No, does anybody really know what the rules of NFTs are? If somebody can reproduce anything? No,
it's just obviously
you own the
NFT
original copy,
holds like the file download, but the MP3 still exists, or it's not an MP3, but the video file still exists out there on like probably hundreds of thousands of computers, because people have downloaded this video. People have this video in storage on their computer hard drives.
Yeah, I know. We watch it at least once a week.
Gather around, kids. Gather around. We're going to watch the epic tale of Charlie Bit My Finger.
What's your favorite internet video?
Honestly, I haven't ever thought of that. I don't really have one off the top of my head. I haven't really thought of it.
I couldn't tell you. Again, I never got into YouTube really. I don't know, just not an internet guy.
But I will say this: follow PDUSA on TikTok. That guy's hilarious. So
Don't know who it is.
all of his videos are my favorite video. But yeah, that's all we have for this week. You could follow us at the Future Jam on Instagram, Facebook. Where else? Do we have other places?
Twitter,
thank you.
Yeah.
And you can call us at 513-BOT-COLA. Leave us a message. We'll play it on the show. Give us feedback or share a story with us that you would like us to elaborate on or research. And, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, and hit us up on the Twitter poll of the week this week. Do you find the robot Moxie creepy, weird, or a new best friend?
Creepy, weird, or a new best friend? You have to send me that in a text because I won't remember.
I will. I'll send it to you tomorrow.
All right, you have to remind me. So, yeah, thanks for listening, everybody, and we will catch you with the top 5 best summer sci-fi movies next week with a special guest. Stay tuned.